Now, let me start by saying that there is global trend of insecurity in the world. And you will agree with me that the situation in Ukraine and Russia have become very, very pervasive. That has increased the level of insecurity. Let me give you a data you may not have. The World Bank MD told us at the World Bank closed session that there was $50 billion deposited with them by stakeholders to use to help Ukraine to manage the money for Ukraine. And I asked him a question. So a country must be in insurgency before you can spend $50 billion. And they said, no, it's not our money. Some people brought it. Can you disclose those who brought the $50 billion? In other words, when you have $50 billion spent on just one country insurgency, it will affect the global situation. And that is about that. I won't go much into detail of that. You should also know that just in Morocco, we responded to the global north problem created to the world. Part of the global north is Russia and Ukraine. Global south is Nigeria, Ghana, and all that. When they create problem there, we have to respond to the problem. Most of the problems that we are responding to are not problems that are created by us. But we have to respond. Things like insecurity, food scarcity, and all that. They are threatening. To the extent that I have said that the next Third World War might not be by military warfare. It might simply come without even one gunshot because of food insecurity. Now, flowing to that is economic insecurity. Now, you know the DMOs. You know the DMO foods, which I think is an area where some of you must have been interested in writing on. Countries that converge to develop DMO food are even saying that if you are not part of them, they won't sell GMO seed to you. And if they don't sell GMO seed to you, how do you feed yourself? So in other words, food security is also coming in as a challenge that we have. Now, America is also owing $35 trillion as a debt, which is about 127% of their GDP. Meaning that if you look at the total economy of America, whatever it's worth is overspent by 27%. So debt to GDP in America is 127%. And that's creating serious problem. And that's why Donald Trump has decided to introduce tariff of various forms. And this tariff is also creating problem. He wants to develop indigenous production and stop exports. And many countries has, depends on him before, on America before, to produce one form of goods or the other, particularly China. It's not also that all things are well with China, because you and me know that China population is close to 2 billion people. To feed 2 billion is also a challenge. Now, we're finished with the global area. This global insecurity is distilled into local security. So we have our domestic challenges arising from our historical trajectory, which I paraphrase in one of the paragraphs in the motion. I'm sure the president would have been generous to give you a copy of the motion. And this one, again, is a problem. From Kano riot of 1954 to various domestic insurgencies, killing as of 2 days ago in Plateau and other places, which are becoming very alarming. Before I conclude, let me just give you this knowledge to share. Insurgency is like hot water, and our lady knows about hot water when they put water on their gas at home. Now it starts to brew like that. You can put your hand inside and you'll be enjoying it. But after 10 minutes, nobody will tell you to remove your hand. You will see the water is developing temperature and your hand can no longer be there. If you put your hand, it will just burn your hand completely. Now, when you allow that temperature to go to the maximum and you bring the hot water down, you cannot put it in your mouth like that. You have to also wait for that hot water to cool down before you can drink it. The number of time it takes to boil is the same number of time it takes to calm down. So if you allow insurgency to become prime and go to the maximum, you also have to wait. When you are trying to solve the insurgency problem and bringing it down, you have to also wait for it to cool down before you can get real results. It will take a lot of time. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very serious about the fact that he wants peace of Nigeria. Of course, he's a peaceful gentleman, but the military, we need to examine the military. We need to make sure that we give the military new knowledge. And they cannot deny this. They need it. So languages that they are used to, that was made by NATO in the early 60s to fight security, which includes Alpha for A, B for Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Hotel, Fortress, November, Zulu. All those languages are completely outdated. Why? Criminals also know the languages. So if you say, Papa Alpha coming for Alpha Alpha, it means that Alpha Alpha is the Oga, Papa Alpha is PA to Oga, PA call Alpha Alpha. I say, come over with your message. Roger, is your message clear? Roger, rest. I'm clear with your message. So also if you say that language now, no military people can decode that same language and know what you are talking about. So whatever you talk in your walkie-talkie, it's no longer a news because we know exactly what you are saying. Is it not the right time for us to converge in a summit and begin to see how to even localize our own system, our own local language, to talk to ourselves in the military palace, or carve out a new language alphabet A to Z that the military can use? Again, do you think that military ranking will still be relevant in the next 10 years? Because a soldier who is a sergeant have a PhD and is under a command of a major who has a BSc, and the soldier with a PhD have more ideas. But military rule says obey the last command, even when they are wrong. Don't you think that the soldier may feel a bit uncomfortable and then he might do that? Do you think document can be restricted in the era of brilliant people like you who will always go to the internet and find out what is restricted and publish it, even though they see restricted on the letter paper of the army? Can the army continue to keep secret by mere stamping the letter paper restricted? Are you sure those information will not go out even when they are restricted? Another thing is army freedom, military freedom. So do you think that your colleagues who join army doesn't enjoy freedom the way you are? If you are in the soldier, you need a pass to go and even see your family. And then if you collect a pass in 2 weeks, you cannot collect another pass in another 2 weeks. So do you think the children we have today, do you think they will be interested in joining an institution that require pass or passes before they can go and see their colleagues? You are going to America. Our children go to London, they travel around. Do you think the army too, their children doesn't want to go to America, they want to go to Boko Haram in the village and be in the forest looking for a path before they travel? So these are the kind of challenges that we want as the Senate to discuss in the national summit. So lastly, whatever we agree on at that conference, at that summit rather, we will be distilled into national policy so that we as the Senate can prepare a document and say, Army, Navy, Air Force, and military apparatus, here is a document we think you should use to do your thing. Read it. If it's relevant to you, adopt it. Here are the challenges I know you will face. One, you can never have a restricted army email. That's not possible. Those who study Harvard Cafe, they will hijack it and then open your email to people. You cannot have your own Facebook. It's not possible. You cannot have army Twitter that people cannot tweet it to. It's not possible. So there are lots of problems. You cannot even maintain the rank. If you see the military today, the rank is not disclosed the way it used to be disclosed some 10 years ago. It's put in the chest now. And if you know what is there, it's not like before when it is seriously displayed. It means that this hierarchy might be of a challenge in the next 10 years. Somebody who have PhD in war have decided to bring the Senate attention to these issues, bond issues. Then what about gender balancing? Are the ladies really going to be interested in joining the military in an age where the ladies are even claiming, superior rights, to the men, so mostly, and where women are even overstretched, where we have to pay school fees at equal level? Do you think they want to go into war and all that? Are you sure they are caught up for that? How do you maintain gender balancing in the army? So the Senate is going to sit down and bring experts all over the world, from British Army and all that, British War College, Nigeria War College. All of us look at the global trends, how it comes to the local trend, our domestic challenges, and have a policy on security. I also have advocated the fact that everybody should be chief security officer to himself. The consciousness of investment in security is very low. I was talking to a lady in London this morning, And she told me that at any point, anytime she has a PhD, but she's selling rice in her shop and Nigeria food. Now, anytime the soldier, the police come and download information on the what do you call it, this secret camera, you know, that you have in CCTV. Now, how many people are selling anything in Nigeria that have CCTV camera? Where will the police get the information if they don't go to shop to go and download this? How many of us are even investing in our own security? If you are in the Senate and you collect 20 million a month, don't you think that you're supposed to put 1 million in your own security? You know, so are we really putting, once we put Malam at the gate, and we are looking for police to dispose, to deploy officers to us, to be carrying the gun. Are you sure your children and my children want to carry gun in somebody's gate in the next 10 years? Where will you find those people that will carry gate and carry gun? And while you are sleeping with your wife upstairs and they will be at the gate. These are issues that will create more insecurity as you move on. And I told you that nobody will be ready to protect you. So the two